There was a Death Stranding 2 working title trailer at the Video Game Awards, and it got me wanting to do an analysis. It's been a while, and Kojima even said people should pore over the details, so why not? Besides, I really like the game. Despite not having read all the interview files, I imagine I'll have read most of them by the time I finish this video. Okay, let's get to it. Oh, and if this wasn't obvious, this is your spoiler warning for Death Stranding 1. Go play it, then come back and watch this. 8 seconds. It opens with a cute baby push toy. I'm pretty sure these are meant to help toddlers learn to walk. It's got some stickers on it, one that says I Heart BB. Part of the sticker is missing though, but I'm sure that's what it says because Kojima was wearing a custom jacket with the same design on it. We see the push toy also has the Bridges branding on it, so clearly we know who made it. And of course the bouncy clicky part of the push toy is a little pod of dolphins, which is interesting as I don't recall there being any dolphins on the beach in Death Stranding 1. There is an interview with Deadman who says that BB echolocation is similar to dolphin echolocation, so I could see how Bridges thought this was a good motif for kids' toys. We get a little bit of beach ocean noise, and then someone starts whistling BB's theme. Then we get a fun shot of more kids' toys. A red block rolls into frame, directing our attention to a shape sorter, featuring the very critical shape of crab. I'm sure that won't fit in the square hole at least. On the side we got a star hole, a pentagon, and a few other shapes we can't see. We also see the crab block, and a little wooden block version of the Bridges cicada model truck. There are a few other blocks, and a stacker toy. We then see a feet height chart with ink handprints, showing someone is growing strong and healthy. 18 seconds. Our whistling voice starts singing BB's theme. We've got a cool Art Deco redstone statue of sorts that looks quite a bit like Amelie. Art Deco is a pretty popular style in the Death Stranding world, as you see it in a lot of iconography for Bridges and the UCA. 25 seconds. I get some Big Dune vibes on these next few shots. We now see the Amelie totem is also on the top of a bright red coffin being carried by some red-robed porters? I think they're porters. They really like red. They also carry staves with the same Amelie totem on it. They seem to have Audrex and even BB tanks, but the BB tanks are covered. A quick read on this situation that it's an extinction cult, and they're carrying someone, most likely Higgs, in a coffin. We get a wide shot that shows them marching in a line over a snowy mountainside with floating columnar rocks. I don't think this is the beach. It could be a special snowy mountain, or maybe this is an afterlife space, like an inverse of the beach. My guess is they're looking to revive their dead, and at this point it's pretty clear that voice singing is Troy Baker. 36 seconds. Now we got Fragile playing with a very cute baby, incredibly pudgy cheeks, lifting it up and giving it a little shake. That's a well-loved baby. I'm guessing this is BB, aka Lou. Lou is wearing a bib with stars on it, a light blue shirt with small angel wings attached to the back, and of course a diaper. With BB's having a connection to the beach, the angel imagery is an easy association. Backroom details are a bookshelf and cabinet, boxes, books, etc. Most of the features of the room from the angle aren't notable. Funny enough, the main light in the room has a video display of clouds to emulate a sky. It's a skylight. Get it? Anyway, it's a quick shot to what looks like Sam's Dreamcatcher. 43 seconds. The lights in Fragile's bunker flicker and she looks alarmed. I want to point out though that Fragile is dressed in a relaxed manner and we can see more of her body. This is important to note as she has kept her body covered in the first game to hide the fact it was aged when Higgs and his men tortured her and sent her out into the Timefall. I think Fragile looks younger in general, but that might just be me. The next shot shows a BB tank is being used as a cryptobiote aquarium, so it's safe to assume this very wobbly-cheeked baby is Lou, unless Bridges changed its BB policies. Props in the scene are a plant, a crystal decanter, a magazine with an ad that says "We all love pizza," which is pretty true, but also kind of a Higgs thing, as he repeatedly had Sam deliver pizzas. Further back is a rubber ducky with a partial Ludens helmet, and some brightly colored posters. The one in the front features a like thumbs up. 47 seconds, lights are still flickering in Fragile's bunker, and she's not happy about it. The room is covered in panels visibly labeled insulated, and this is clearly where she's been raising who we can assume is Lou. Other props in the room are a bed we can't see much of, some colorful animal shapes stuck to the wall, blocks, kids' books, and a stuffed cryptobio. Hanging from the ceiling of the room is a mobile that includes Sam's Dreamcatcher. There's also a stepladder, cooler, and a piece of equipment, probably a vacuum in the corner. The Dreamcatcher is pretty much confirmation that this is indeed Lou, and Sam probably gave it to Fragile to protect Lou as she sleeps. We can see more of Fragile here, and her arms look normal rather than aged as they were in the first game. Her hair also looks a little shorter and isn't swept back with hair product. 49 seconds. The angle changes to the earlier one as Fragile looks around nervously, and we can see her hands are indeed not older. We see the mobile again, but it's blurry. The flickering lights flash red, and we know this is probably an alert from the bunker's security system that there's been an unwanted entry. The music gets serious and bassy. 56 seconds. Lights are all red in the bunker, and Fragile has little baby Lou tucked away in a carrying harness on her front, which, of course, is evocative of how BBs are carried. We also get some acoustic guitar in the mix, which is likely also Troy Baker. Fragile looks anxious, and she makes for the exit of her bunker. 1 minute 4 seconds. Fragile looks at the stairway outside of the room where she's been raising Lou, and we get some flashlight beams on the wall at the top. In a corner at the top of the stairs is a traditional surveillance camera. It would be good to note that in addition to the numerous potted plants on the stairs, there's some overgrowth that looks like it's from long before, but it could be from the improvised garden she has set up. When she spots people are coming, she moves back past her bunker entrance and activates the bunker's cargo elevator. I kind of want to call this a dumbwaiter, because cargo elevators are usually a lot bigger. Let's call this a package elevator. 1 minute 12 seconds. We get a digital camera style slight fisheye lens view as Fragile tucks herself and Lou into a lower shelf on the package elevator. This is a neat shot, since people no doubt would have cameras there to see the porters and what exactly was put in their elevator before lowering it. A lot of nice stuff happens with the lighting in this scene, between the LED lights on the package elevator shelves to lights shining on Fragile through the bunker's inner beams and grates as the elevator ascends. She arrives at what is pretty much the standard entrance of a bunker, and if you played the game, you've probably seen these 100 times. There's a metal shelf box on the wall and some lettering. This apparently says Moth MX, which is seen in earlier shots and is likely the installation's branding. The significance of this name is probably an inside joke for Kojima Productions, or just nothing at all. 1 minute 30 seconds. Fragile gets out of the bunker and heads for an electronic unicycle. As Fragile rushes away, we see her bunker entrance is tucked under an overhanging cliff, with what looks like additional bunker structure, but it's orange. I'm wondering if this isn't perhaps part of an active hologram camouflage or something. 1 minute 38 seconds. Fragile races off on her cool unicycle, and Lou is in her front baby carrier. I like that this little vehicle has a cargo rack. It wouldn't surprise me if we get to use these in the game. 1 minute 41 seconds. Troy Baker tries to show us he's a real singer, and the music gets loud. This means excitement time. People start shooting automatic weapons at Fragile. A bullet hits the back of the bike, another one hits her left arm, the bike wobbles, and Fragile tumbles while protecting Lou in the fall. 1 minute 49 seconds. A red hooded figure draws a pistol on Fragile. Very likely it's Higgs, as it cuts to a BB inside with tar tears. We see Fragile looking worse for wear, also crying tar. For those who might have forgotten, crying tar is a symptom of those who suffer from dooms. 1 minute 55 seconds. Lou is lying in the middle of the shot on the ground, and there's now a bunch of fire, which I doubt all came from the unicycle bike. Lou is crying her pudgy little head off, and Fragile starts crawling towards her. 1 minute 58 seconds. Lou is not crying. She is not moving. Fragile seems to notice this, stops crawling, falls over, and passes out. 2 minutes 6 seconds. Cut back to the bunker's cryptobiote aquarium, and a red BBBT starts taking shape. It looks like Lou didn't make it, but she did get to keep her angel wings, so that's good for her. Cryptobiotes are now looking spiky. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Death Stranding 2 working title logo. Higgs says, BB, don't worry. It's okay. 2 minutes, 31 seconds. We get the drawbridge logo. Under it reads both stick and rope to protect and connect. Together for tomorrow. Presumably this is a bridge's vehicle, and it features the optimistic humanist themes of the first game. We get a new voice speaking, and it starts by saying, no one should have to suffer such loss. 2 minutes, 32 seconds. It continues, you know, I meant it when I said I understand how you feel. A figure trudges up the stairs of a bunker with some effort, and it's revealed to be Sam, except his hair is gray now, and he still looks pretty strong and fit. He also has bags under his eyes. I guess they didn't want to go full old man Sam. Sam shields his eyes from the light as he steps up next to Fragile, who's looking out over a sea of tar. The voice continues, but if you hold on to the sadness, it'll weigh you down like an anchor. 2 minutes, 41 seconds. We get a little periscope action in the tar sea, and some dolphin whale type noises as something big emerges. We get some really cool big mechanical groaning noises that really just makes me think of the Reggies from Pokemon. I'm sure there's some sci-fi spaceship somewhere in media that inspired this. BTs fall off the giant vessel as the tar pours off, and I'm only now getting the obvious Greek mythology river Styx comparison. I don't know why it took me this long. 2 minutes, 55 seconds. Here's some neat exterior vehicle shots of the drawbridge ship, and we learn it's named the DHV Magellan. It's got a little graphic under the name that looks like Octopus Beta BT. 3 minutes, 4 seconds. So the DHV Magellan looks like Metal Gear Rex, right? Like that crane is even in the same place as the railgun. It's a submersible though, so it's like Outer Haven and Arsenal gear. There's a little object on the right corner that absolutely looks like an AI pod. 3 minutes, 5 seconds. Shot cuts to Fragile and she's crying as the DHV Magellan surfaces. She seems to have some kind of blue shoulder strap that connects the front of her outfit with pieces shaped like hands. Hard to tell this angle, but it certainly seems like hands, which would not be a surprise, as chiral crystals are shaped like hands. Fragile says, come meet my crew, Sam. Sam takes a few steps forward. 3 minutes, 12 seconds. The DHV Magellan is hovering majestically, making Regigigas noises as tar spills off of it. We get a nice little chime playing that feels familiar, but I can't place it. 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Sam is looking real gray. As he stares at the Magellan, he is of course crying, because not only is it dramatic, but it is a chiral allergy symptom for people with dooms. Fragile says, it's time for you to hit the road and start a new journey. Fragile's out of focus here, but the blue straps do appear to meet over her collarbone in the shape of hands. If you look closely, it also looks like she has a BB tank. Maybe she brought along loose BT. 326. Unidentified voice from earlier says, it wasn't the UCA that made the final decision. It was APAC, a private corporation. While we see the cast credits. 3 minutes, 36 seconds, we get a mysterious figure in red and black armor, and a very tentacle-like Audradek, who starts singing. It wears a blonde wig in the fashion of Amelie's hair, a mask that looks like her face, and a kipu. There's 7 really nasty-looking guys in red armor similar to this red figure, with some kind of downward-pointed hologram triangle in front of their face. If this main figure being an Amelie superfan and Troy Baker's voice wasn't a giveaway, this is also very likely Higgs. Higgs strums some sort of stringless future guitar because we really need to get that Higgs is a very cool and charismatic bad guy. In case you didn't believe that in the first game, because I sure didn't. Interestingly, the abdomen of our new Higgs is yellow and cloudy like a BB tank, but instead displays his intestines and organs. The menacing soldier types in the back also have this look. His new Audradek does a little hologram flash, then looks like a crosshair, symbolically saying that he has our heroes in his sights. The triangles on the soldiers behind them turn to an exclamation point, then an X shape, and then a 6-pointed star, which is likely a symbol of this Amelie cult. 3 minutes 51 seconds, Higgs begins to remove his creepy Amelie doll mask, and we cut away to a black screen with red strands that reads, "Should we have connected?" 3 minutes 55 seconds, a tentacle slaps the glass of the inside of a BB tank. Sam asks, "Lou?" Lou gives a little giggle and appears to be made of BT particles. She then slaps a bundle of more tentacles against the glass. And that ends the trailer. Okay, before I jump into what I got out of all this, I want to take a moment to encourage you to check out my Patreon. If you like what I'm about and you want to support me, that's a good place to do it. If I can make enough through Patreon, YouTube content can become a focus, and then I can actually afford to sink hours into writing, producing, and editing video. Otherwise, just say hi when I stream on Twitch and help me build the community. So what do we make of the trailer? First and foremost, I think Fragile being aged by the timefall torture has been reversed, and probably at Sam's expense, because clearly he's older now. Remember, in this world, Sam Porter is essentially Jesus Christ. Well, white Jesus anyway. Sam is the selfless martyr Porter who's willing to carry the world on his back. Almost literally. Some sort of extinction event cult has popped up, and they revive Higgs. It's not exactly clear what happens to Higgs in Death Stranding 1, but it's implied he killed himself rather than stay on the beach for eternity. Assuming we can trust what Higgs said, if he or Sam died on Amelie's beach, they die for good. Unless you have a cult looking to bring you back, I guess. It seems the game opens with Fragile's daring attempted escape and Lou's death. It sends her back to her BB tank as a special kind of BT. Or, as what Kojima has called her in a tweet, Octopus Lou. Lou is important to the game, as the last time a BB was revived, which was Sam by Amelie, that kicked off the whole Death Stranding. Doing that linked Amelie's beach to the other beaches and gave the BTs a way to come over. So, the implied revival of Lou by Amelie at the end of the game might have reconnected the beaches. When Lou goes back, though, she's a red BT of some kind. The red BT Sam encountered were impervious to most attacks, and Cliff's soldiers also had a red aura to them. Deadman was our point of contact for how the bridge babies worked, but with it being a hush-hush secret project, we don't really know a lot. So we can probably chalk up what's happening to Lou as some sort of chiral magic. If Lou is a connection back to Amelie's beach, where Amelie has been trying to hold off the extinction event, we could see why she's going to be important to the story, and the extinction cult might be after her. Maybe they didn't know she would turn into a BT, and killing her would be enough. Or her becoming a BT is part of their plan. It seems to suggest, and I hope it's the case, that for part of the game we play as Fragile. Léa Seydoux is a great actor, and it would be nice to see more of her in the game. We of course have precedents of this in a Kojima game with Metal Gear Solid 2, where we started as Solid Snake and then swapped to Raiden. Besides, if Sam really is older, he might not be doing the whole journey from start to finish. If we are playing as Fragile, we probably won't have all of her powers because that can make things too easy. They can do this by saying Amelie closing off her beach affected Fragile's ability to move via beaches, or whatever they did to reverse her aging might have also undone it. Considering all the tears, tar and otherwise, it's safe to assume she's still afflicted with dooms. We don't know what the fallout of the events of the first game ending had on Fragile Express, the UCA, or the chiral network. But the chiral network presumably still works somehow since Die Hard Man gave his speech and people probably still heard it. So what I would do as a designer is have a part of the game play as Fragile. She might tap her resources to learn what happened to Lou, how to reverse it so she can be a pudgy-cheeked baby again, but also what abilities Octopus Lou offers the player. The second mystery would be who this nasty death cult is, and how Higgs got turned into Robo-Higgs. The DHV Magellan, which I assume the HV stands for Hover Vehicle, is probably the answer to some of these questions. If the chiral network has gone down, the West UCA might be cut off behind the tar belt again, and the Magellan not only hovers, but can also submerge itself in beach tar. Fragile would no doubt need to assemble a crew, and add Sam along as it concerns Lou's fate. As for that mysterious voice we could identify, this character has a vaguely Hispanic accent, And while the only character I can think of that has one is Deadman, this person doesn't sound like him. So this is probably a new character. And speaking of assembling a crew for the DHV Magellan, we know Kojima's had two notable actors in Kojima Productions for the big fancy camera room they use to take full 360-degree pictures. Elle Fanning and Shioli Kotsuna. Kojima hyped it up with these images and then revealed who they were, along with Norman Reedus and the now obviously story-related questions. Elle Fanning's picture displays, "Who am I?" Shioli Kotsuna's says, "Where am I?" And Norman Reedus's reads, "Why me?" Sam's question of, "Why me?" could reflect a shaky resolve now that he's given up so much and still more is being asked of him, even in his accelerated old age. Oh, hey, that's kind of like how Saul's Snake aged quickly because of the cloning process. Maybe he's feeling worn down like Snake did in MGS4. It could be a question he's posing after the news of what has happened to Lou, who he of course sees as a surrogate for his previously lost unborn daughter, and perhaps thinks it's his fault, believing his very involvement is a curse on the people he cares about. That explained why he isn't raising Lou. Kutsuna's character is no doubt a new character who we can safely assume is lost in some way. And my super duper big spoiler prediction is that I think Elle Fanning is Lou, an older version of Lou. Amelie didn't seem to mind disregarding the restrictions of time, so maybe she replaces Amelie on her beach at Amelie's choosing, or this is a goal of the cult. Going from BB to a wobbly-cheeked baby to being Octopus Lou is certainly a cause to question one's identity. Maybe that cool angular statue wasn't of Amelie, but instead of Fanning's character. Or I could be wrong, and Fanning and Kutsuna's characters are part of APAC. Since the trailer hints APAC, which stands for Automated Public Assistance Company, seems to be an important entity in the story, we would need some characters to represent it. I'm just offering predictable story patterns here, and Kojima isn't always that predictable. So, that's all I've got for my Death Stranding 2 trailer breakdown and predictions. Did you notice something that I didn't mention? Please leave it in the comments so the rest of us can see it too. Otherwise, take care, and until next time.